Coming in right around 7,700 pounds dry with a hitch weight of just under 1,500 pounds. This half-ton towable fifth wheel has double over double bunks, a bath and a half floor plan, super slide, and beautiful amenities, folks. This is the 2022 Crossroads Volante 270BH. All right, so let's get right into the floor plan itself. As I said, this one is a rear bunk model, something similar a lot of times we see in like a travel trailer layout. However, because it's the fifth wheel and it is a little bit bigger, we actually have a half bath up front, and I'll show you that in just a moment. You can see how they did a pretty good job. It is kind of bright in here as far as the color pattern, or the color palette rather. You will see that they added some accent lights. If you've watched my videos before, you know I'm not a huge fan of the blue lights, but you know I'm not saying that it's not for everyone, right? I do know a lot of people that really do like them. So you can see it does have the accent lights above the slide as well as underneath the counter. But again, if it's not for you, you can simply turn them off if you so choose. But the option is certainly yours. Kind of going into some of the amenities, right? One of the things I really like is the fact that you have true solid surface countertops. And, you know, and we're looking at the price point this one kind of sits at. That's pretty darn impressive. I really like that they were able to put that in. You have the undermount double bowl stainless steel sink, high-rise pull-out faucet, just like you would expect. Plenty of kitchen countertop space. I mean, you kind of have this prep space over here, as well as a little bit of space back here for a coffee maker. If we take a look underneath, you'll see as soon as you walk in, you do have some storage right there. Excuse me, whether you have that for shoes or if you want to have a trash can there, you can certainly do that. A bank of 3 drawers and space for your pots and pans right there underneath the sink. You have the recessed 3-burner cooktop with the glass top oven underneath. It is Greystone branded. Then under that is your breaker box as well as fuse panel. And you'll see it also has kind of this decorative backsplash that they have framed out. Up top is a hood, microwave, and some additional storage with glass inserts for the doors rather than wood to help break up that wood look. Then you also see crown molding there going across the top of the kitchen, just again to add a little bit of elegance. The refrigerator is a Dometic fridge-freezer combo. It is gas absorption, meaning it runs off both electric and the possibility of propane. That's what RVs have used for a long time, and if that appeals to you, you will certainly appreciate the fact that you can kind of go off-grid, right? You don't have to have shore power or anything like some of the residential ones. You can just run it off propane, which is nice, and you don't have to worry about like a 12 volt, which, you know, if you don't have enough solar, can run down your batteries. And then right over to the side is massive pantry. Now, because the way this is set up, you kind of have some options here, whether you want to do pantry or closed storage or a combination of two. You know, maybe the top is pantry and the bottom here is for closed, because they do have the 2 doors, or however else you want to break it up. But you do have the large storage areas there. And then in the back are your double over double bunks. You'll see good storage underneath. Again, if you want to put like a laundry basket under there, maybe dirty clothes, you can do that. Privacy curtain here. You have electrical outlet down below and a dual USB up top. So that way you have a couple different options for electronics you can plug in. Also, there are lights top and bottom, 300-pound weight capacity on both the bunks. Window up top, the window in the bottom is also an emergency exit. Taking a look back in the main bathroom, you can see the toilet right back here. Porcelain bowl, which is great. That way it stays cleaner longer, right? Nice and easy to clean as well. I'm 6 foot, about 210 currently, and as you can see, I do have pretty good leg space here. If you're much taller, if you're 6'2", 6'3", you might have a little bit of a struggle with the legs. You might have to kind of bring them back. Might not be quite as comfortable, but at 6 foot, I'm just fine. Great leg space. It is a tub, so if you do have little ones, you can give them a bath. If I stand up in here, if you look up, kind of his head space, being a fifth wheel, you get the big advantage of lots of height on the ceiling. And so that definitely plays in here. And, you can, again, be 6'3", 6'4", standing there, no problem at all. Mirrored medicine cabinet in the corner, of course, sink, a little bit of storage down underneath, electrical outlet, everything you'd expect to have in the bathroom. Right outside of that's your thermostat. This does work for both your 13.5K BTU ducted AC as well as the furnace, and you will see that the ducts for the furnace are in the floor. which is great because they kind of get to put them where they so choose for more even heating. You also see an electrical outlet right down there if you need to plug in a vacuum. Flush floor slide on here, and in that slide, it is a super slide with both a U-shaped dinette as well as a tri-fold sofa. For slide height, again at 6 foot, you can see that I can stand underneath the slide without hitting my head, which is great, especially if you're getting up off the couch. The U-shaped dinette can easily sit 3 people, possibly 4, depending on length, again, depending on how tall you are, how long your legs are. What they did do, they have a little bit different bar system in here. You can see it kind of connects, and then it has like a foot on the ground, and then the table connects to that. So that way they tried to eliminate some of the bars to give you a little bit more leg room in there. And again, this table does drop down, so that can create some additional sleeping space. As for storage, open that up, you'll have the same thing on both sides, nice deep storage in there. Not quite as easy to access as like a drawer, for example, but it is deep storage. And then if you so choose, of course, you can kind of do the old-fashioned way where you just remove this cushion and lift up the base there to access anything you store underneath there. Trifold sofas are wonderful. It's definitely going to be an upgrade over a jackknife, especially when we're talking about comfort, not both in sitting in, but also for sleeping on. You lose the storage underneath, but again, what you gain is just a much more comfortable bed for your guests. And this, as I said, is a pretty comfy spot to sit. Plus, it has built-in armrests, which is great. A little bit of a tough angle to the TV from right here, but you definitely have a great angle here. If you want to lay down, you can do that as well. You'll also notice dual USB ports, so if you need to charge like a tablet while you're sitting here, you can do that. Speaking of the TV, excuse me, as I mentioned, that's kind of midship right here. Great view from that dinette space. It does have the Bluetooth capable sound bar there. This is actually kind of like your multimedia center and speaker in one. So you have a couple different zones here. You can see, you compare it for Bluetooth, has a USB input right up front as well. Your main control panel will be located here. That also has your tank monitoring panel, if you're wondering where that is located. Underneath is the fireplace. Now, cool thing about the fireplace, folks, is not only does that look really nice, which it certainly does, right? Has a nice ambiance to it, but also this is a space heater, and it runs off electric, right? Off 120. So if you are plugged in somewhere and you're not seasonal, chances are you're not paying for electric. So for you, essentially that's going to just be a free added heat, right? Think of it again like a space heater you would put in a room. Making our way up the stairs here, some additional storage. Just kind of show you, right? Not super deep, but some decent additional storage there. Same thing right here. Me personally, I kind of wish this would have just been, one large storage area with like some coat hooks, so it gave me a spot to hang up jackets and things like that. I think I personally would have found a little more use out of it, but you let me know. What would you do? Do you see this and be like, Ian, this is perfect, I know exactly what I would put in there? Or do you think you would rather see, like a coat hook, again, something you can hang up? Let me know in the comments section. Making our way into the bedroom, you have a queen bed right here. It is a little bit of a step up, and when I step up, as you can see again at 6 foot, right, I do have to bend down. So the easiest way probably to get in and out of bed would be right from the foot of the bed, but it is a queen size bed, so you get a little bit of extra length there. Wardrobes on the sides with the cubby holes. Storage across the top, and a spot for a TV. You will also notice a second AC here. Now this one is not ducted, this is just a direct dump, which honestly, if it's at night and it's really hot, this is probably what you want, just because it's gonna all dump right out here and be nice and cool as you're trying to sleep. If you take a look at right over around the corner though, this is your half bath. How cool is that? I don't know about you, but I find the older I get, the more I wake up in the middle of the night to have to take a pee. And this is perfect, right? Get up, do what I got to do. You have a sink right there so you can wash your hands, come right back in bed. Kind of gives you that master ensuite feel, and I do like that they have put it right up top here in the bedroom, not only, again, because of convenience, but also because you don't have to trip down the stairs when you're trying to make it to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Now that we've seen the insides, take a look at some of the outside features on the 2022 Crossroads Volante 270BH. Starting off right up front on the beautiful and slightly bug-coated painted front cap. The nice thing about it though is because it is painted, it'll make it nice and easy to clean up. But I really do like the look of it. You will also see that you have some LED lights down here, which is really nice. And directly underneath is the Curt Rotaflex Kingpin. This is wonderful because the pivoting head, when starting and stopping your tow vehicle, you won't get those sudden jerking motions, so it does make the tow a little bit smoother. When you drop down underneath, you will see the front storage compartment, and there are multiple ways to get in here. You'll see we have the large storage door right here. We'll also have one on the off-camp side and two on the camp side. We'll see in just a moment. While we're up here, though, a couple other things I do want to point out. One is you have a battery disconnect right there, which is super simple and easy to use. Your battery box is off to the side, and you can see that this one is pre-wired for solar, and it has the pre-wiring there for the solar controller. Plus, you also have the portable panel inlet right there in case you just want to buy the portable panels and plug it in that way. Making our way around, we'll come right over to here, and as I mentioned, I said there were a bunch of different ways to get in that front storage compartment, and here is another one. You can see you have a little bit of storage here too, plus obviously the access into the larger compartment. And if we take a look right here, when it steps up, you have access to this. And if you look all the way across the other side, you will see another storage door on that side. So plenty of ways to access that front storage. Taking a look up top, you will notice the Carefree of Colorado power awning. You'll just touch a button, roll that out. Same thing to go back in. And because of where the LED lights are located, they stitch them in right at the base. It doesn't matter what position the awning is in, you are still able to use those LED lights. You will see you have the Lippert solid step here. It has aluminum treads with the grip tape. Aluminum is great, it's not gonna rust. Larger grab handle here as well. It does make it easier to enter and exit the RV. Another thing that's really minor, but I really like, is this little guy. You'll see it's a cute little way to have a dog leash, right? So you can put your leash right around the dog bone there. And maybe, I'd have to try it, I haven't tested it, but I wonder if you can maybe use that as a bottle opener too. Just an idea. I'd try it. Who knows? A couple of other quick things I do want to mention. You'll see right here, right? You have the power awning, power stabilizer jacks, but this one, the extreme weather package, you do have the upgraded insulation with the reflective heat barrier, a little bit larger furnace than what you'd normally see in this size RV, and the fully enclosed and heated underbelly. So as long as you're running the furnace, it's going to push that forced air into that underbelly, so that way your lines and tanks hopefully don't freeze up on you if you are out camping in a little bit colder weather. You'll see this one has the freshwater quick drain, which is great because this has a large 60-gallon freshwater tank on there. So you want to make sure it does dump out fairly quickly, or it's going to be draining for a really long time. And of course, you also have your fresh tank fill right there. So if you're going somewhere you don't have city water hookup, you want to make sure to fill up your freshwater tank. If you want TV outside, this is the hookup for that. The multiplex signal controller, which is just a long name for where you plug the cable in at, is on the other side, but this is your output for both your cable and satellite, as well as your electrical outlet. That way you can have a TV right out here, and that of course is underneath the awning. You also see a couple speakers up there in case you want to listen to music out here. Those are connected to that multimedia center inside. Making our way all the way to the back is the outside kitchen. It's one of the great things about having a bunk model, right? A lot of times when you have bunks on the campsite, they give you an outside kitchen. That's exactly what you have here. So nice big storage right up top. Refrigerator over to the side. I love having a refrigerator outside. And when we pull this guy out, you will see the wash basin. It's not plumbed or anything. This one just kind of comes out like so, and you can dump it. I personally kind of like these just because I use these for like dirty dishes and stuff. And a lot of times I'll take plasticware, but sometimes I do take actual silverware. Like if we're having steaks for dinner, you know, I want an actual steak knife, so I can just take this over, throw all the dishes right in there. Just makes it a little bit easier to wash up. You will also see right over to the side, you have your 2-burner cooktop, and that of course has a propane line that you will connect right underneath the RV to that propane quick connect. Now bear in mind, if you have a favorite grill or like a blacktop griddle, something like that that you want to hook up, you can certainly do that as well. That way it feeds off your bottles up front instead of having to grab the two small ones, or the separate small ones rather. Making our way to the back, a couple things I want to point out. One, right here, you have a rear-mounted ladder so you can get up on the fully walkable roof, 250-pound weight capacity. You also see backup camera prep up there. If we take a look a little bit down below, you will see the square tubular bumper with end caps, giving you a convenient spot to store your sewer hose. Attached to that is your spare tire, and underneath is a 3,000-pound hitch. So that way, if you want to tow a trailer behind you or a, like a boat, something like that, This gives you the capability to do that, assuming it is legal in your state. You do want to check what your state regulations are. Some of them you can't at all. Certain states you will have length regulations, so you do want to make sure you are staying legal, but this does give you the ability to do that. If nothing else, even if you can't tow, it is still great to use for things like a bike rack or extra storage compartment that you can slide right into that receiver. Last thing I want to touch on back here is this guy right here, which is your 30 amp detachable power cord. That is where you will hook that up at. And then on the other side, on the off-camp side, is your outside shower. As I mentioned, your multiplex controller, aka where you plug your cable into, as well as both of your black tank flushes. If you remember, this is a bath and a half, so you have 2 black tanks and both of them need to be washed out. And folks, that wraps it up. Again, this beauty right here, wonderful family camper, is the 2022 Crossroads Volante 270BH. So if you're looking for a family fifth wheel, something that you may be able to tow with your half ton, this one right here is an excellent option. If you want price and availability, all you have to do is click on the link in the description. Thanks again for watching, folks. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.